me, mutt. Henry! Whistle at that mutt of yours to stop barking.
Mutt! What's all the fuss about, Mutt? Are you that hungry? All right, I'll see what I can get for you.
Well, hoorah! Peace at last. That barking was a pain in the ass.
Listen, would you have some scraps for Mutt?
That's a good one. He already gobbled up a piece of venison while I was having a piss. I've got one last sausage and I'll be saving that for the way back. Look, Henry, I'm fond of that beast, but you ought to keep him under control.
Come on, Oaks. We'll get to Trotsky tomorrow, and there'll be plenty of food there. We're a noble's escort, so they're obliged to feed us well. Pheasant in wine, roast pork with apples. Those sausages of yours are only fit for a dog anyway.
For Christ's sake, stop giving me a hard time. I'll have you know that sausage is fucking good. But neither you nor your dog will get to taste it.
Wouldn't you swap it for something?
I might. Tankard has my ring. I lost it to him at dice, and if I go home without it, my old woman will send me right back. If you can get it back, I'll be glad to give you that sausage.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Come on, Conrad.
What?
Let's throw a few dice.
For the love of God. How many times do I have to tell you? I ain't playing with you.
Why not?
Because you cheat.
I do not.
Oh? And how come you always win then, eh?
That's an easy one. I always win, 'cause you always lose.
Ha ha. Very droll.
Seriously though, Conrad, my old mate. Roll a few, eh?
No.
How do you think things will end up tomorrow?
How? No ways, I reckon. Whenever someone parleys with someone about something, it takes ages.
Why do you think that?
See me and Conrad now? We can't even agree who's going to be on watch this evening. But then, I'm just a spear carrier. I ain't got the head for no noble manners. Ask Oates. He'll know more about it for sure.
Have you ever been in these parts before?
No, but I know there's a village called Troskowitz at the foot of the castle, and there's a tavern there. Me and Conrad will go there and fatten our purses nicely on the locals. I got the dice ready for it. If Sir Hans gives us a bit of free time, like. I must remind him.
Where did you get the table from?
From that cave behind me. It was just lying there. So I says to myself, that's better than playing on the ground.
I see you've got dice set up. Want a game?
Sure. How's about spicing it up with a little wager?
I heard you won a ring off Oates. What about that?
Fortune favours the brave, lad. But if you lose, you'll pay for everything I order in the tavern in Trotsky. All right? We'll... see whose side luck is on today. Yeah, that'll do. No, that's as far as I go. That's enough for me. Your turn. Let it be now. I want to play too, you know? My God, I'm done. You must have a... Damn your eyes. You played well. What's to be done? A bet is a bet. Here's your ring. Hey, Conrad. One little game, eh?
Leave me alone! I know you only too well. It's all one little game, and then you go and take my last groschen.
This is... boring. Why don't we carry on to the foothill of Trotsky? They must have a tavern there. A fellow...
How do you like it here?
I'll tell you, it's nothing like home.
And have you ever been further than Rattay?
No, I never was, but I always wanted to. That's why Oates put in a word for me so I could ride along. Besides, for an adventurous expedition like this, you've got to have the right gear and good horses. And I'm in charge of them.
I'm a bit anxious about tomorrow. How about you? Are you worried?
A wee bit. But we've got good intentions. Sir Hans is responsible. And sensible too, when it comes to important things. And no doubt Lord von Berghoff is a wise man and he'll hear him out with a cool head. Clever folks can always somehow come to an agreement, can't they?
I'm not so sure about that. Even the best of folks can fall out. One small wrong word robs them up the wrong way. And next thing you know, the claws are out.
Aye, I suppose. Still, though, I reckon it'll be fine.
And you take good care of our horses. I can't say they're exactly whinnying with joy.
Don't make fun of me, eh? Whenever they need anything, I take care of it for you. The only thing that bothers me is them cliffs and rocky paths. I hope none of the horses breaks a leg.
Do you know why we're going to Trotsky?
For some big political parley.
Yeah, of course. I'm just wondering if you know what's in that message we're carrying.
Not really, but I reckon our lords want to sound out von Burgo. Bear in mind the times we're living in. King Wenceslas under lock and key in Vienna, and his brother Sigismund, meanwhile, shamelessly plundering Bohemia. We need to know who's going to stand on our side if things get even worse. And the royal chamberlain, von Burgo, has the land reserves under his thumb. So he's a big player.
To tell the truth, I'm starting to get a bit anxious about what to expect tomorrow. Do you think our big mission will be successful?
Nothing to worry about. We'll get to Trotsky, Sir Hans and von Burgo will parley, and then we'll ride back. Done.
You're a bit sure of yourself, eh?
Well, this ain't my first time delivering a message. Everything will go according to plan. Don't you worry.
Do you know these parts?
A little. It's all rocks and woods. Lovely to look at, but shit for hunting in. If you don't watch your step, you could easily fall down some fissure.
So you've been in Trotsky before?
Not Trotsky itself. Once I just passed through here with Sir Hanusha's escort.
Ah, I expect that's why he sent you with us.
No doubt, but also because I'm not as rash as you youngsters. And besides, as the cook, I make sure you lot don't gobble up all the supplies at once.
We might even discuss how to make peace with Sigismund.
Peace? I don't know. Sigismund is winning and he won't want to parley for peace. But I hope there's some chance of a truce at least, an armistice. The main thing is that it don't get no worse. Hacking up Cumans is one thing, but if it comes to Czechs fighting against Czechs, that'd be nasty.
It seems Tankard can't tell a 5 from a 6. I won that ring off him.
You beat the bastard. Ha! You're a dab hand, Henry. Thanks. Will you give it to me? If I go home without it, the old woman will break a broom over my back.
What will you give me for it?
Well, all I've got here is some grub. Want a sausage? It's venison.
All right. And enough games. You won't easily find another mug who'll exchange a ring for a sausage.
Yeah. True enough.
Aye, come here. Look what I have for you.
Watch that tankard. You play dice with him, you'll lose your brace.
Henry! Henry! Oh, that was a tight thing with the captain, eh?
It looked for a while like we'd be charging at each other.
I must say, I wasn't expecting that bastard to start on me.
Yeah, I could tell.
But we managed the situation all right in the end. He even apologised to us. If Hanush had seen it, maybe he'd finally stop treating me like a child, eh?
Well, I don't know. When I look at you, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Kiss my arse. And by the way, since you're here, how about stretching our limbs a bit? After that long journey. With a bit of swordplay.
You're in the mood for that after riding so long?
Certainly. So then, eh? Eh?
All right then. Just a bit of swordplay for the hell of it? Or shall we have a wager?
Let's save the wagers for later.
Oh, you afraid?
Keep the biting remarks to yourself. You've got armor on, so just grab your helmet. Here's a practice sword for you. Have that ready too.
So, should we start?
Ready? Let's start.
Let's get warmed up. I'll attack you a few times. You defend.
Go ahead. Impress me. Is that the best you've got? I didn't even work off a sweat.
Oh, you will soon enough. A foe in plate armor has to be worn down.
Let's see it then. Attack properly now. A longer sequence.
Very nice exchange, Henry.
Enough!
Now you're warmed up, eh?
Yeah. But you're pretty winded yourself. While you're attacking, you still have to take care you have strength left to defend.
Save the advice and try it yourself.
Gladly. On guard. Nice. Good. 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 That's the way.
That's enough. No one's ever won a duel just by blocking. You've got to make an opening to strike back. And you do that by means of a perfect block.
Perfect block, eh? You've become a real swordsman.
Start your attack then.
That's it.
Clash of blades.
Nice, Henry. Nice. But what about a riposte? Reckon you can manage that?
Why wouldn't I? Nothing to it. I just follow up a perfect block immediately with a strike. I'll show you.
Get ready. Good, Henry. Sweet. Too fast for you, am I? Block it. Well, you're not as good as Captain Bernard, but that wasn't bad.
Be sure to remember, if someone gives you a riposte, you can still fend it off with a perfect block. And it's best to follow up right away with your own riposte.
Yeah, right. But what if I want to attack in such a way that you can't make a perfect block?
Then it's best to attack at a spot where your opponent isn't covered. Where he's not holding his weapon. You defend, and I'll show you how.
All right, come on then. Don't hack at my sword. Strike somewhere else. Nice. Nice.
That's how it's done.
All right. I get it. For Christ's sake. Enough demonstrations and explanations.
Let's have one training duel to finish up, eh?
Indeed. And let's have a wager to spice things up. How about 100 groschen?
100? How about 200? Are you feeling confident or not?
Fine, 200. On guard. Off to a good start. That one hit the spot.
Nice technique. Did you see that?
Ow! do it?
Nice block.
Ow! Kurwa! How do you do it? I yield! Enough! Oh, for fuck's sake, you're unstoppable! Oh, you won the bet, fair and square. I'll settle with you when we get to Trotsky. Now let's go and eat. That swordplay gave...
So who won, gentlemen?
Oh, it seems this isn't my day. I knew I shouldn't have bet with you. You've improved since that last time in Ratai.
I won back then too, as I recall. You had to give me your bow.
You were unbelievably lucky, beating me after just one day of training. True, I wasn't in my best form that day. We had a drink or two beforehand.
Oats? What's this food supposed to be?
What's left of our supplies. Tomorrow we'll be at the castle, and we'll get some decent grub.
If you told us earlier, I could have shot a hare. And you could have cooked it like they did in the tavern the day before yesterday.
That tavern where you drank away all your coin?
Ha! You've got to have some fun.
And then you tried it on with the innkeeper's daughter when you were shit-faced.
She was pretty. A real peach. Admit it.
Only a fella was there.
And if he hadn't started acting like a twat, he could have carried on with us until dawn.
He'd have to get his brain out of his crotch for that.
But I still can't figure out how you didn't have a sick head after. Mine was ringing like a church bell all day.
It seems I'll have to give you some lessons in the art of drinking.
Ha! I've got nothing to regret. The whole world turns around wenches. Ain't that right, Henry?
Hmm?
You never gave us the goods on that lass of yours. What was her name now?
Teresa. She lived with that crook Peshek at the mill.
And she saved my life.
A brave girl.
Aye. She's a fine lass. And? Is she any good? Like, is she any good? Get me?
I don't know. Nothing happened between us.
Nothing?
No.
I don't get it. A nice lass like that.
You know, this travelling isn't too bad.
Apart from the mosquitoes.
Aye. Apart from them.
Where were you yesterday evening, Henry? You were late for supper. That's not what I call watching over our Lord.
Hey, don't make trouble.
I needed a bit of peace and quiet. I had a stroll around, checking out what plants grow here, praying for the success of our mission. Then I came back.
At last someone with some sense who's not in a hurry all the time.
If I always had to think everything over, but...
I wouldn't have rolled in the hay with so many girls if I spent my time just thinking about it.
Thanks for the prayer, anyway.
And what about, time, sir? I mean, will we be getting any time off, sir?
It depends. Once von Berghoff hears us out, we should set off back home immediately.
What? Straight back on the road?
Well, we could stay a day or two, perhaps.
Does anyone know anything more about von Berghoff?
Only what Sir Hans told us, that von Berghoff is a big cheese in the royal court. That's why we're going to negotiate an alliance with him.
You summed that up nicely. But yes, that's how it is. He's the Royal Chamberlain. You fellas will never meet a more important noble than him.
I heard he insists on having the finest swords, and that he's got a big collection of all kinds of swords and daggers.
Collecting them ain't the same as knowing how to use them.
And is he any good at sword fighting? It ain't nothing easy to learn.
The sword is the weapon of a master. Balanced, fast, and suitable for all situations. Of course, you have to train with it and try to improve your technique, but the result is worth it.
Aye, I get it. It was just a training fight. Pardon me.
Oh, swords, swords, swords. No doubt you're going to tell us again how the perfidious Ishvan Toth stole your sword. And I thought you'd come round to thinking about other things.
That sword is the only reminder I had of Pa. We forged it together, just before he was slain. But that's another matter. I suppose you've heard enough of that, eh?
Well, you know.
Ah, it's all right.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Ishvan's shoes if you ever come face to face with him again.
What? So Radzig ain't dead, though?
Enough, enough. Otherwise we'll be here for hours again hearing how Martin the Smith raised him even though Radzig is his real father. It's complicated, and let's leave it at that. No offense.
Who'll help me tomorrow with getting supplies for the journey back?
We rolled dice for it, and I won. So Conrad goes.
What are you on about?
Enough. Oath, you're no fun at all. There'll be a feast at the castle tomorrow, so forget about supplies.
Anyone for another helping? There's plenty left. Maybe even a bit for morning.
No thanks. I must wash myself down a bit.
My words exactly. We can't turn up at Trotsky tomorrow in this state.
Let's go and strip, Henry. Fellas, come and help us get out of this armor.
Are you really going to bathe here, Sir Hans? It don't look none too safe a spot to me.
Oh, don't be such an old woman, Oates. Bring some wine to warm our blood.
Yeah, we're not on a trip to the baths here, Sir Hans.
Henry's right, sir. Duty first, fun later.
God's wounds. I haven't been away from Rattay in ages. So, here, I intend to live a little. Blasted iron shirt. Oh, what a relief. I feel like I've just shed 40 pounds.
Ah, Christ. Will I ever live to see his young lordship finally grow up? He's got a good heart, but he doesn't have the sense that he was born with.
Well, responsibility will catch up with him soon enough, though.
There's more chance of me becoming a monk.
That's a view fit for a king.
Whew. You were right about our stench.
Let's hope this water isn't too cold. You wouldn't want your pride and joy shrinking.
I'm more worried about it being too deep.
Come on. Oh, that really shrivels the old ballsack.
What's the matter?
Females! Let's go to them.
Sir Hans!
Oh, shut up and let's go. But quietly. We don't want them to spot us. Hans!
Head down, Henry. We've got to sneak.